And another one bites the dust. Am I surprised? No, I am not. Amorim has been sacked. The sun is hot, and it's winter time in Canada. Shocker. Of all the things that would have surprised me, this did not surprise me at all. We went out there to get a baddie, and then we were shocked when the baddie wanted to spend our money. The thing is, Amorim was a manager that was using a back three at Sporting Lisbon, a manager that basically got rid of 90% of the squad, and it took time and it eventually achieved success. We saw all of that and we bought the player. We bought the manager. When the manager came in, we acted all surprised when he wanted to do the same thing here. It's not like he did a back four there and then came here and wanted to do a back three. Like Ten Hag. Ten Hag did something in Ajax. He came in here and wanted to do something else. That was fair. This guy kept the same energy he had in Portugal and carried that energy to England, and we say he is not good enough for Manchester United. Why is he coming here and moving like he's in Portugal? But that is why we bought him. We didn't buy him here to be anything else. When we bought him here, we were expecting him to replicate what he did in Portugal. Was that not the case? We're all happy. We're all feeling good about the Monclisi, how suave he was, how honest he was, and all of a sudden the same things that we praised him for, the same things that we brought him here for, were not good enough anymore. Now we wanted to fire him. Not because of anything else. Because our owners had their egos bruised because he was being honest, which is exactly why they brought him here. The very qualities, the very traits that he had that got him the job, the same traits, that's what got him fired. It is so confusing to me that the entire fan base is criticizing this guy for a mistake that our owners did. Now, I don't even necessarily think it was a mistake. I think he was actually successfully doing a rebuild. The first season he was here, which by the way, he did not want to be here. We forced him to come here and take the job from Erik ten Hag. He did the worst possible thing he could have done, which is take us from 14th to 15th. Because when he got here, we were 14th. We were already on a downward trajectory. The team was already in shambles. It's not like we were doing great. People would tell you like, oh, without these guys, without that guy, we would have gotten relegated. Yeah, we could have gotten relegated if Ten Hag, Van Nistelrooy didn't get those points. That is completely fair. But at the same time, we set up the manager to fail. And if we keep going like this, we're going to set up the next manager to fail. You saw the difference when he actually had a preseason and had a few of his signings. By the way, if you do not know about how he was in Portugal, you should go maybe look into that to understand that we didn't even give him half the tools that he got to Portugal. By the way, he had Gyökeres as a striker in Portugal. I'm going to show you some of the things that he has had to deal with here in Man United. I'm going to throw a few clips randomly as I keep talking across the video. But the one thing that you cannot take away from this guy was that he actually had a plan and intent. Gary Neville and the legends get frustrated like us fans. And they have every right to be frustrated. They are fans, they're emotional. When it comes to football, even the grown people act like children. It is normal. But the board of directors or managers or owners or the people who should be having a plan should not be reactionary. He wasn't fired because of Grimsby or 15th or because he gave Spurs their first title in years. He was fired simply because he spoke the truth. Everything that we've known. Ronaldo came here, he said the same thing. Ralf Rangnick came here, said the same thing. Mourinho came here, a very established manager. He said finishing second was the biggest achievement of his career. I need you to understand that this is a guy that has won the treble, I believe, with Inter Milan. He's won notable trophies. He said that was the biggest achievement because he came into a club that was holding him back. We sell managers dreams. That's what we do. We sold this guy a dream. We told him, look, if you come in here, we're going to treat you like an IG baddie. We're going to get you Monclisi. We're going to get you Chanel. And then when it came time to deliver, we said, we ain't got money. We're broke. Our roof is leaking and there was rat infestation. You want signings? Nah, G, use your imagination. That is what it was. We said, you want Modric, you want Gyökeres? No, you're not getting that. You see, Ugarte, turn him to Modric. Because you're the manager, get the best out of the player. That's how it feels when fans and everybody else says, you should be getting the best out of these players. The best out of these players was 14th the first time he came here. He came to a team that was 14th. He took the team to a final, undefeated, throughout the Europa League run. And then he got to a final and he lost, not because of anything else, but because we had a crazy goalkeeper called Onana and the goal. Most of the losses, even last season that he came in, if we had Seny Lammens, we would not have lost. Even this season now that we're 6, we can clearly see the minute we signed Seny Lammens, our season improved a little bit. It went from guaranteed losses to draws. All the draws we've had would have been losses if we had Andre Onana in goal. People forget the nuances. We just want to call things and be hysterical and just act like children and just be emotional about everything. And that is fine because you are a soccer fan. That is your job to be hysterical. Now, do I know if Amorim, if he had stayed, if he would have gone on to win the league? There's no way I could tell you that. I am not that so raving. I can go like this. and see the future. I can't see into the future, but one thing I can see is the fact that he was making progress. Now you can say, why would you support this guy that did all of these things, crime to humanity? Osama bin losing because they call him a terrorist for whatever, because fans are Man United fans especially are very dramatic. I can tell you in simple terms why it is I was supporting this guy. While the first season was not something I liked, I could see that there was a clear trajectory that was going on. He picked a problem from last season. We were not scoring goals. This season we're scoring goals. We're up there with the best teams in the Premier League right now in terms of scoring. The problem though is that we are conceding a lot more goals. So it kind of destroys our goal difference. Even though right now we actually have a positive goal difference, that is a positive trajectory. We know we have players that are not very good. We know we have players that are not very reliable. Yeah, we lost to Grimsby, but let's be real, we lost on penalties, and we should not even have gotten there if he did not make the substitution decisions that he did. He started with a team that he thought could beat a team like Grimsby. You shouldn't need a world-class coach like Pep Guardiola to beat a team like Grimsby when you play for Manchester United. And therein lies the problem. A Man United squad should never need to be coached to beat a team like that. The quality should be that different. When fans react the way they do is because they expect a certain quality, a certain level from Manchester United that just isn't there. And that is something that is hard for fans to just understand. And there's this cognitive dissonance because for years most of us grew up watching Sir Alex Ferguson's United, and we still see that we're like that uncle in the club thinking we're in our prime days trying to get a wine and we're getting rejected by every girl in the club. We should move from a club to a different place because we've outgrown that. We're not the same anymore. It's like that uncle trying to go play football right now with the youngins and his knees are not what it used to be before. It's cracking. It's not looking good. We cannot go anywhere if all we do is hire and fire managers. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome is literally the definition of insanity. This club isn't set up for a manager to come in and be successful. We have too many chefs in the kitchen. They're trying to make jollof rice, but they're not able to decide they don't want to do Ghana jollof or Nigerian jollof. That is a problem. Until we can have that one-track mind and stick to a specific plan, regardless of how bumpy it might be in that journey, we will not get where we need to be. And that is the problem with Manchester United. We started conceding goals. The only thing we needed to fix was the defense. This is his year one. When Arteta was starting off at Arsenal, they were Arsenal fans, troops. I remember them trying to make shirts to get Arteta out. Even this season, there's a Jamaican dude, I don't remember his name. He's calling for Arteta out, but he's on track right now to win the league. The guy literally said, he ain't gonna win us nothing. And we have those same voices in Man United. Even right now, there are people that are against Arteta. In Liverpool, there are people that are against Arne Slot. That's what fans do. You cannot follow the whims of fans, and Gary Neville is no different. He is a failed manager. You brought a manager here that was playing with a back three in his previous club. That was why you signed the manager. You had no problem with that. And do not pretend that you had a back four in your mind. No, you're trying to save face because you're hearing the pundits and Gary Neville and all these people talk about how it is not integral to our identity to play that formation, that we are a back four team, that somehow playing the back three is not attacking, but yet we are top three when it comes to expected goals. Yet this season and the stats and everything shows otherwise. Our players are just not clinical and our defense is leaky because we got a bunch of injuries, because you guys didn't make the right signings and the right structure to fortify the team at the back. This is a manager that requires money to be spent. That is who you brought in. I do not blame Ruben Amorim for what happened. I can blame him for certain moments, maybe key little things, but which manager out there in the world is perfect? I could blame him for maybe not making a substitution here when he should make a substitution there, or making the wrong substitution here and there, but for the most part, he did more right than wrong. He relied on the wrong players most of the times. He had faith on the wrong players, and sometimes he demanded a little bit more from the players. Our fans just want to see players get give nutmegs and be fancy and flaky, but he wanted players that could do that and also have the grit to commit to an overall defensive unit, to be able to run, to be able to graft, to be able to cover the entire ground of the field. That was what he was hoping for, but he did not get that from certain players, and as such, he benched them in hopes that they would be able to rise to the occasion, because that is what Man United used to be. We used to have a very deep squad where you had Saha, Tevez, all these guys fighting for one spot. That was Man United. Now we have little kids like Kobe Mino, Garnacho, Chido Obi, who even hasn't played a single thing, feeling entitled because Man United as a football club is failing itself. If you're one of those fans that disagree, by all means, leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm open to have a discussion about this. I might actually do a live one of these days. But I can tell you this right now, hiring and firing in hopes that one day we finally hit the managerial lottery and get some sort of Fergie reincarnate is insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome is insanity. I truly feel like we made a big mistake. We actually lost a good one. And I'm not going to rant anymore and go on this. I'm done with this. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope somehow the next guy comes in and wins the league, because we want immediate impact. We want you to come and just win the league. It doesn't work like that. But hey, misery loves this company. Man United fans are addicted to misery at this point, and they just don't have the patience for a rebuild. And let's just see how long it goes before the guys up top. Because if it's about the fans, we can talk about this all day. We have different opinions because that's what we do. The first game of the season against Arsenal, everyone was optimistic. We might win the league if we keep going like this. And now he's a completely horrible manager that needs to be sacked because he said a few things about our owners and they're too sensitive to take it. Thank you so much for watching. It's been the Realistic Red. This was my rant. Usually I like to make funny videos, and I will make funny videos going forward, but this was just a painful thing because not only was he fired for the wrong reason, I think we just fired the wrong guy. We made a big mistake letting this guy go. That's what I truly believe, and we'll see how it unfolds. Prepare yourself for Fletcher and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Thanks for watching again. Please hit the like and subscribe. Share your thoughts, and I'll see you guys next time.